Hello everyone, it's Leo, and it's time to talk about episode 43 from Start TWINKLE PRECURE. I'm wearing yellow today and with my Cure Soleil plushie because it was finally time for us to see Cure Soleil attaining her twinkle imagination, and my expectations were high for this episode and I cried my heart out at the last scene with Elena and her family. I just couldn't hold myself. It was powerful. This episode is powerful. By the way, I feel like Star Twinkle, if you haven't been following Star Twinkle for whatever reason, now is the time to come back. This season is really bringing it in this last stretch. I mean, I have been pretty excited for Star Twinkle the whole way long. I've been loving this season since the start, but I feel like this last stretch of the season is bringing something totally different and unexpected, and it's dealing with the characters in a way I was not expecting this season to be, and it's really blowing everything out of the water. Really, really, really. And I'm just loving it. I'm just loving every single second of it, and it's just so powerful to me. So let's talk about episode 43. I'm gonna start by talking about something I didn't really like in this episode, which was the fact that they went to Tenjo's planet based on a tracing they did on the teleporter the Naturator used to travel. And that makes absolutely no sense if you think about it, because we're talking about Tenjo's planet. And her planet is a place that we learned in this episode she doesn't like going to. It's a place that it seems that she wants to forget about. And she probably doesn't go there. So how do they trace the energy back to her planet? Like, if they're trying to find the Naturator's base, they should have traced the base itself, or a planet that's close to the base. I don't know. But it makes absolutely no sense they went to Tenjo's planet. But we needed a reason to go there because we need closure to Elena and Tenjo and the debate they have about smiles. And so this planet has lots of people with smiles. They're always smiling and boasting about something, but inside they're loathing you, they're making fun of you. Their smiles are not real the way smiles are intended to be. They're very fake smiles. And they quickly understand that. That also, one of the interesting things about the planet is the technology of it, and I feel like it was nice that they put something else apart from the fact that the planet loves long noses for whatever reason. It's like the standard of the planet, and they put something else there. The technology, like, it's very advanced, and it's something that the Cures use, the Puruns and Lala use to make the rocket small. So it's a technology from that planet. That was very nice. That was a very nice touch. And I feel like this long nose thing is a very nice idea because it's so real. It's real. Like, especially when we saw Tenjo as a kid suffering because of it, and people saying, oh, don't make a fuss about it. It's okay, you don't have a long nose. But inside, we know that that is a problem for them. And I feel like this is another downside of this episode because we don't really get to know what really happened with Tenjo. She suffered prejudice from not having a long nose. Yes, but what actually went on? Did she lose opportunities? Did she feel like not really part of the society because of what someone did to her or the society collectively did to her? What really went on there? What really happened for her to feel outcast apart from her appearance? Like, something must have happened, and we didn't really see that. But I felt like it was a nice thing. And the episode basically had a tone, and Elena was out of this tone. She was serious, she was silent, she was completely in her mind. She wasn't interacting with the girls, she wasn't really paying attention to what was happening. She was just not there with them. And that is very representative of what's been going on in her mind and what's happening with her, which is very interesting, by the way. I feel like it's something that they didn't really do with her character before, and I love that because we're seeing a character that's very mature, that loves smiling, and that's put on a smile on her face no matter what comes her way, no matter the hardships she's facing. And now she just can't smile. She just doesn't know how to deal with this situation. And that is a very interesting point to her character. And so when Elena was confronted by Tenjo for the first time, she was by herself, and it was very nice how Yuni basically saved her when she came around, and the girls quickly arrived and they started fighting. And there were no Not-Haters in at that moment, and it was interesting because Tenjo was by herself, and there was a reason for her to be by herself. She didn't want anyone messing with her story. She wanted to keep that story for herself. That's also very nice. And so when the fight began, the fight was really nice at the start. It was really nice. You know, the girls were able to use their powers in very different ways. I loved how Lala was using her shocks, and lots of moments also Madoka was able to use her arrows, and Star was able to use her defensive star and everything. And Soleil, she couldn't fight. She couldn't properly fight like the other girls. And, you know, that makes total sense. That absolutely makes total sense, because that's just how she was feeling at the moment. And her conflict was within herself, and it was within something she believed in, which is smiles, and Tenjo, because Tenjo was basically the catalyst for everything that's been going on in her life. And she couldn't deal with that. She didn't understand how to deal with that. And so the girls all got captured, and Elena was having to fight by herself. And she was cheered on by Madoka, which had like a very beautiful impact by just saying, believe in yourself. Because Elena was doubting her own powers, because she wasn't being able to make Tenjo smile, which is an ability she has had for the past 40 episodes. She can make people smile around her. And it was bothering her that she wasn't being able to transform Tenjo's sadness into a smile. And Madoka just told her, believe in yourself. And she like lightened up a little bit more. And it was very beautiful, you know, seeing Madoka reflected in Elena's eyes. Wow, what a scene. So beautiful. And then she went on close to Tenjo being turned into a monster, and then she just opened her heart out to her. And she told her, I understand you. Because Elena also felt that she was different when she was small, when she was a child. And we know that. We've seen that in episode 39. And what kept Elena going was the smiles from other people that supported her. And honestly, like, that was when I first started tearing up, when I saw like little Elena all alone, but all by herself with lots of people around her. And then she found solace in her family that was smiling towards her and was accepting her with big smiles and a hug, a beautiful hug, very, you know, that was such a beautiful scene. And at that moment, we start to understand that Elena does not only like to smile, but she feels like it's very important for her to make people smile around her. It's very important for her to make people happy and to make people, you know, show a real smile. And that's what she likes doing. That's what she wants to do. And so she's able to understand Tenjo because of that. She's able to understand what Tenjo's going through. And she starts opening up to her as well. And that's why she achieved her twinkle imagination. That's when she realized that what's important to her is not only keeping a smile, but to be able and to have the power to lighten up everyone around her and make people smile as well. And then she was able to achieve her twinkle imagination, which was so pretty. I didn't even know that she had this holographic part in her dress. Like, I have never noticed it. And it's, come on, stunningly beautiful. And so the girls were able to defeat Tenjo, and at the last moment, Elena stood up and, you know, gave her hand and said, come with me, like, you should smile as well. And ultimately, Tenjo went on away, and this is not a closure for their relationship. So I feel like everything's still gonna happen at the end of the story. We're gonna have a little closure between both of them, and I'm very curious to see that, because I feel like Tenjo had a very big impact on Elena. And so that's when the episode shined very, very thoroughly, which was when they got to Elena's house, when Elena got to her house. And then she was able to open herself up with her mom. And it was such a poetic scene because they were cooking together. Elena was cutting onions so well. That makes you cry, but she was really crying. And she was open about it because she was so frustrated. She couldn't make Tenjo smile. And so she gave like a hypothetical situation to her mom. Not a hypothetical because it was a real situation, but she didn't explain it thoroughly. And her mom said a very nice thing, which was, you can't make someone smile, but it's very real what you're feeling because you're crying about it. So I feel like, you know, sometimes we try to embrace positivity so much that we forget that sadness and frustration, they are valid feelings and we need them as well. We need sadness in our lives. We need frustration in our lives to be able to deal with emotions inside of us. And so they embraced each other. Oh my God, it was so, and then when the father got home with everyone and he saw the scene and he was like, come on guys, let's not come over here. It was so beautiful. And you know, the pot got too hot and it overheated and you know, the food started overflowing, just like Elena's emotions. So thank you, Star Twinkle. That was beautiful. And you know, at the end of the day, you know, Elena was able to deal with her emotions and to open herself up to her parents and to show, I'm sorry for the background noise, and to show that she was actually finding herself. She actually found what she wanted to do in her future, and they supported her. And not only they supported her, Toma, her brother, also supported her in his own way by saying, I'm going to help around the house too. I'm growing up. Like, he's growing up and he's understanding that he needs to support his parents and his household. And so he was like stepping up to do everything as well. And so like the family just cooking together, just doing everything together. It was beautiful. Thank you, Star Twinkle. I love the Mamma Mia family so much. I love Soleil so much. Thank you for this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful episode. Next week is the Christmas episode. We're going to see girls delivering presents and everything. And I'm very excited to see it. Dark Nest is finally going to fight. And it feels like he's giving his power to the minions as well. So they're going to become strong. Anyways, guys, I'm leaving. The noise, background noise is there. I can't stop it. Thank you so much for watching. And until next time. Bye-bye.